inflorescence. Now the mode of arrangement of flower on the floral axis is known as inflorescence. When the plant becomes mature, it will grow in size, undergo maturation, and then it will complete its vegetative phase and then enter into the reproductive phase. At that time, the flower will appear on the apical meristem, that is now it will changes into the floral meristem. The hormone, a special hormone known as florigen, is produced in the leaf and reach to the region where the flowering will occur, and the internodes of the stem stops elongating. The axis will undergo condensation process and the shoot apex will transform into the flower, and the flower will appear, and this mode of arrangement is known as inflorescence. So depending upon how they appear, that is, there are two types of inflorescence, that is racemose and cymose. In racemose, the main axis having the unlimited growth, that means they will grow further, and flowers arranged in acropetal succession, that will see through the diagram. Then in cymose, the main axis will terminate into the flower, that means the limited growth is there. Now further it will not grow in size, and other flowers will arranged basipetal succession, that means other flower will appears toward the basal part. So depending upon how the flowering occurs on that main axis, there are two types, that is racemose as well as cymose type of inflorescence. In this diagram here we can see that this is the diagram of the racemose and this is cymose inflorescence. See here, this stem or this axis is growing further, and the bigger flower present towards the lower side, it is growing in size, and further the flowers are appearing like this, and this is of unlimited growth, that is in racemose flower inflorescence. Then in cymose, the main axis is terminated into the flower. So the older flower is present at the top, and further other flowers will grow towards this side, and here the older flowers are present towards the lower side and the younger will above here. So in this way there are two types of inflorescence. Here this is the example of Monetaceae family, where the oldest flower is at the end of the floral axis, and that is such arrangement is known as the basipetal succession of the flower, and youngest flower towards the base. And when the youngest flower is the oldest flower is towards the base, then it is known as the acropetal succession. The most fascinating structure of the plant is the flower, which participate in the process of sexual reproduction, and it appears when the plants undergo maturation and enters into the flowering, that reproductive phase. Now this is found in only the angiospermic plants. The flower holes are arranged on thalamus. The flower base is known as the thalamus or receptacle. There are 4 holes of the flower. The outermost hole is the calyx, and then next one is corolla. These 2 holes are the accessory part of the flower, and after the corolla, inside androecium or the male reproductive structure is present. Then gynoecium, the innermost structure, that is female reproductive part, and these 2 are the necessary part of the flower. That means they are giving rise to the male and female gamete, and they will undergo the process of fertilization to form the fruit, as well as further development will take place. So there are 4 holes of flower. Depending upon that whether all the 4 holes are present or not, there are 4 types of different types of flower. First is complete flower. If all the 4 holes are present in the flower, it is known as complete flower, and any one hole is missing, then it is known as incomplete flower. Unisexual flower means single sex organ present, whether it is androecium is present or gynoecium is present, either male flower or female flower. And bisexual flower, both androecium and gynoecium present in the same flower. So if unisexual flower is there, then it will be obviously incomplete. In some plants, in place of calyx and corolla also, they are replaced by other leafy structure known as perianth. So there are different types of flowers. Now types of flowers based on their symmetry. There are main two types of symmetry, that is asymmetry and symmetry. So asymmetrical structure or symmetrical structure. Asymmetrical when we can't divide the flower into two equal halves. For example, in kanna. Now in symmetrical, the flower can be divided into two equal halves, but in how they are dividing, depending upon that, there are two types of symmetrical plants, zygomorphic as well as actinomorphic. In zygomorphic, the flower can be divided into two equal halves from any radial plane, for example in pea. But in actinomorphic, the flower can be divided into two equal parts, but only in one plane. For example, that is mustard plant. Here we can see different parts of the flower, that is different holes of the flower. This is the complete flower with all the four holes. This is pedicel. Now here calyx, the green leafy structure with the outermost hole of the leaf flower, which also protect the flower in the bud condition. These are the calyx, or also known as sepals. When these sepals are attached to each another, then it is known as attached to one another, then it is known as gamosepalous, and when they are free, they are known as polysepalous. Now corolla, the next hole is known as corolla, which is bright structure, and they are of various shape. They attract the insect, help in the process of pollination, and like calyx also, when they are united with each other, joined with each other, known as gamopetalous, and when they are free, known as polypetalous. Now the third hole is known as androsium, or the male reproductive structure. It has three parts. This is upper one is known as anther. This long tubular structure is filament, and where they are connecting, known as connective. So this is androsium. Now gynosium is the female reproductive structure, having three main parts, that is ovary, the swollen part, lowermost part, then long tube-like structure, that is style, and the above structure, that is known as stigma, which is the receiving part for the pollen grains. In this way, these are different parts of the flower, and all these flowers are based upon or attached with the pedicel, as well as the flower base is known as thalamus or receptacle. When all the folds are present, that we have already discussed, that outermost hole, that is made up of calyx, then corolla, androsium and gynosium. Calyx are of two types. When they are fused, gamosepalous. When calyx are free, known as polysepalous. In the same way, when corolla are fused, they are known as gamopetalous, and if they are free, known as polypetalous. Now androsium or stamen, having the three parts, that is anther, filament and connective, which is the male reproductive part of the flower, and in some plants stamen is sterile, then they are known as staminode. Now depending upon the location of this androsium or stamen, there are different types of flower, like different types of stamen, that epipetalous, which are attached to the petals, for example in brinjal flower. Then epiphyllous, that means they are attached to the perianth of the flower, like in lily. Now perianth is the leafy structure which is replacing the calyx or corolla. Then monoadelphous, that is one bundle is present, all the stamens are present in one bunch, one bundle, then it is known as monoadelphous, for example in China rose. Or diadelphous, when they are present in two bundles, like in pea, there are total 10 stamens, out of that 9 plus 1, that means 9 present in one bundle and 1 present in single bundle, 2 bundles are formed. And polyadelphous, more than 2 bundles are present, and where the anthers are present, for example in mustard. So depending upon their location as well as their position, bundle 1, 2, 3, like that, the different names are there. Now gynosium is the innermost hole, and where this is known as, also known as carpel or female reproductive part of the flower, having three parts, that is stigma, style, ovary, and ovary includes the ovule inside it, and which is attached to the cushion like structure known as placenta. And this has if there are, in some plant there are more than one carpel also. If these carpels are fused, then it is such type of gynosium is known as syncarpus, and if they are free, carpels are not fused, then it is known as apocarpus. In this way different names are there of gynosium. There are various types of flower depending upon the number of multiple of the floral appendages. When they are present in multiple of 3, like 3 calyx, 3 corolla, 3 androsium, then it is known as trimerous. If they are present in multiple of 4, then it is known as tetramerous. And if all these appendages, that is calyx, corolla, androsium, are present in multiple of 5, then it is known as pentamerous, like 5, or 10, like that. So this is known as different types of flowers. Then types of flowers depending upon presence of bracts. Bract are the small leafy structure present near the pedicel from where the flower arises. If bract is present, the flower is known as bracteate, and if it is absent, it is known as ebracteate. Now the types of flower based upon the position of the floral parts. If the ovary is superior and gynosium is above than all the other holes, then it is known as hypogynous flower, and that means the location of the ovary is upper side, that is why it is known as ovary superior. For example, in mustard. Now if half inferior, that is all are present at the same level, all the holes, then it is known as perigynous, and example is rose plant. Then epigynous, that means gynosium is below and other holes are present above the gynosium, that is why the gynosium or the ovary is inferior, and example is guava. So in this way there are 3 types of flower depending upon their position of the floral parts: hypogynous, perigynous and epigynous. This is the morphology of the flowering plant. Here we can see this is the TS of the flower, this is the structure of the female reproductive structure, this is the ovary, and inside this ovule is present. Now the male reproductive part, that is stamen, and here you can see this is the stamens, anther, this is filament, and this one is connecting these two. Inside this anther, when we will cut the transverse section, we can see the microsporangium in which the pollen grains are produced in the pollen sacs. In both the bilobed anther is there and the two lobes are there, that means 4 sacs are there, microsporangium are there for producing the microspore or the pollen grains. And this is the transverse section in which we can see this is the pedicel, then this is the floral axis, from here the calyx, corolla, and this is the anther, and this the innermost is the gynosium of the flower. There are different types of structure: simple, aggregate, that is fused structure, and multiple, many are there, and accordingly they will form different types of fruit also: simple fruit, aggregate fruit, etc. Now these are some symbols. When we are describing the flower, writing the floral formula, we will use such symbols. Like for stamen, we are using such type of structure. For showing the corolla, this structure is made. For calyx or sepals, we are using such type of lining. Then epicalyx, present above outer side of the calyx like this. Then if bract is present, such a structure, and for this mother axis. Now nectar secreting disc around carpel, for this we will use this symbol. Then monocarpellary gynosium, that is one a single carpel is there, we will use such type of structure. Bicarpellary will show such a structure when it is syncarpus, that is fused one. Polycarpellary syncarpus will show like this because they are fused but more in number, more carpels are there. Monoadelphous androsium, that means all are present in same bunch, will make this diagram, this symbol. And syngenesis and androsium, like they are in this fused form. So these are different symbols which we are using during the floral formula. The mode of arrangement of sepals or petals in respect to other sepals or petals is known as aestivation. How they are arranged, whether they are overlapping or they are touching one another. So in this way, how they are arranged, this mode is known as aestivation, and depending upon that there are mainly 4 types, and that is velvet, twisted, imbricate, vexillary. Example of velvet is calotropis, twisted, cotton, imbricate, gulmohar, vexillary, pea, that will understand through the diagram. Now placentation. Placentation is the term which is used for arrangement of ovule within the ovary. How the ovules are arranged inside the ovary, that is known as placentation. These ovules are attached with a cushion like structure known as placenta, and depending upon their arrangement there are various types, mainly 5 types of placentation, that is marginal in pea plant, axile in China rose, parietal in mustard, free central in primrose, and basal in sunflower, that will see this through this diagram. In this figure we can see the aestivation of calyx and corolla. When this is velvet type, in which calyx or corolla are arranged in such a way that they are not overlapping each other, not united, and they are just touching their ends, then it is known as velvet type, which is velvet type of arrangement of this aestivation of this corolla or calyx. Now twisted, that means when one end is overlapped by other and its one end is overlapping the other. So one end is overlapped and other end is overlapping. Such type of arrangement is known as twisted type of aestivation. Now in imbricate, some of the calyx or corolla is like this one, that is twisted type, and some are both the ends are overlapped by each others, and here it is overlapping on both the ends. So they are in irregular fashion, and this is known as imbricate type of aestivation. Now vexillary, and this is the peculiar example of the pea plant, leguminous plants, that where the biggest one is known as standard. These two are the smaller ones are the wings, and this is smallest is known as keel. So and this is the arrangement of the this aestivation of calyx and corolla. So there are 4 types, that is velvet, twisted, imbricate, and vexillary type of aestivation. Here we can see the placentation, that is mode of arrangement of the ovule inside the ovary. Such type of arrangement is known as marginal. Here we can see this is the marginal type. Then axile placentation, present in the axis, axile position. Parietal, when it is present on the parietal wall, outer wall of the ovary. Free central, that means in the center but in free central condition. Here basal placentation. So these are different types along with the diagram. Here also marginal, this is axile, this is parietal, this is free central. Here different compartments are there, this is basal. So these are different types of placentation. In marginal one, when the placenta ridge along the ventral suture of the ovary, an ovule present at the ridge of the 2 rows here, then it is known as marginal. For example, in pea plant. In axile, when the placenta is in axial position and ovules are attached to it in multilocular. These compartments are known as locule. So this is known as axile type of placentation. For example, China rose, tomato, lemon, etc. Now parietal one, when it is present on the peripheral wall, then it is known as parietal, where ovules develop on the inner wall of the ovary but on the peripheral part. For example, mustard, argemone, etc. Now free central, that means ovules born on the central axis inside this central position, and but the septa is not present. Here in exile we can see they are present on this central axis, but septa is there. This mid wall is known as septa. Different locules are there. Here no septa is there. For example, in primrose. Now in basal, the placenta develop at the base of the ovary, and here the ovules will also always single. For example, in sunflower. So in this way there are 5 types of placentation. Now we will discuss about the structure fruit. After the fertilization in the flower, that is when the flowers male and female gamete produced, they will undergo the process of fertilization after pollination. Then the product of the fertilization is fruit. That means the ovary will convert, transformed into the fruit, and the ovule will transformed into the seed. And the part of the, in case of angiospermic plant, the ovules or seeds are naked, no fruit wall is there. This is present only in the angiospermic plant. Now parts of fruit. There are 3 main parts, that is epicarp, the outermost layer, then endocarp, the inner structure, inner layer. It may be stony in some type of fruits. Now mesocarp in between these two, that is known as mesocarp. Now types of fruits. Parthenocarpic fruit, when the fruit develop without fertilization process, then it is known as parthenocarpic fruit. The main feature of this fruit is they are seedless. Now false fruit, when the fruit developed from the part other than the ovary, like in very common in apple, the fruit is developed from other part, that is thalamus, not from the ovary. When the fruit is developed from the ovary, then it is known as true fruit. So there are various types of fruit, again depending upon the structure, drupe and other different types of fruits are there. Now seed. Seed consists of seed coat and embryo. Seed coat is the outer layer and having 2 layers, outer testa and inner tegmen, and embryo is present inside having radicle lower side, then embryonal axis on which the 1 or 2 cotyledons are attached. If dicot plant, 2 cotyledons, if monocot, 1 cotyledon will be there. In this slide we can see the different structure and types of fruits. The fruit is the edible part of the plant that contains seed or the matured ovary of a flower. Now here we can see different parts, different layer of fruit. This outermost is epicarp, middle one is mesocarp and inner one is endocarp. The tomato fruit is there, which comes under the category berry. This is berry type of fruit. Mango, it is drupe because the inner endocarp is stony here. Epicarp, mesocarp and endocarp. Here the mesocarp is the edible portion. Now in cucumber, the fruit is known as pepo type of fruit. In orange it is hesperidium. Then apple, it is known as pome. Then balaustra, like pomegranate. So these are some simple fleshy fruits, comes under different category depending upon how, which type of all the layers are there, epicarp, endocarp and mesocarp. Now after the formation of fruit, as well as when the ovule is convert into the seed, we will study about the structure of the seed, which type of seed is there. So there are 2 types of seed depending upon whether they have 1 cotyledon or 2 cotyledon. If 2 cotyledon, it is the characteristic feature of the dicot seed, and if 1 cotyledon, it is the characteristic feature of monocot seed in monocot plant. Now parts of this dicot seed, seed coat, which has 2 layers, outer testa, inner tegmen. Now on the seed coat, a space is there, place is there, location is there known as hilum, where that is the scar. Now micropyle, above, just above the hilum, the area portion is known as micropyle. Now embryo which present inside this seed that is it consists of embryonal axis and two cotyledons. This embryonal axis will having two leaflet, upper side plumule, lower side radicle, and the two cotyledons which are full of reserve food materials. Now, type of seeds. There are two types of seeds. If the endosperm of that seed is left behind, not consumed by the embryo, then it is known as endospermic or albuminous seed. For example, in castor seed. In some plants like in bean, leguminous seeds, no endosperm is left behind. Then that means all the endosperm is consumed by the developing embryo. Such type of seeds are known as non-endospermic or ex-albuminous type of seed. Here you can see different parts of the seed, dicot seed. It is divided into two parts. First is the outer seed coat having two layers, outer testa which is thick and inner tegmen which is thin. Embryo has two cotyledons and embryonal axis. Now, embryonal axis will give rise to plumule, epicotyle, point of attachment of this embryonal axis, hypocotyle towards the lower side will give rise to the radicle. Now, the structure of the dicot seed. Inside the seed coat is the embryo which consists of the embryonal axis, two cotyledon often fleshy and full of reserve food materials, and at the two ends of the embryonal axis present the radicle and plumule. Plumule, here in the figure we can see plumule towards the upper side which will give rise to the shoot system, and towards the lower side, that is radicle, will give rise to the root system. So, here, and this is the seed coat, and this cotyledons, these are the two cotyledons full of endosperm. Then the hypocotyle at lower side and radicle, and upper side the epicotyle and the plumule. These are the two cotyledons. Here this is hilum and this is scar, and this is the diagram of the dicot seed. Now we will study about the structure of the monocot seed. Monocot seed means the seed present in the monocot plants. Here the seed coat is membranous and fused with the fruit wall, and the endosperm stores food. The outer covering of the endosperm separates the embryo by a layer which is made up of the protein known as allurone layer. The embryo contains the plumule which is enclosed in a sheath-like structure known as coleoptile, and radicle enclosed in the sheath-like structure known as coleorhiza. The sealed shaped cotyledon is single in number which is also known as scutellum. Embryo is small and situated in a groove at one end of the endosperm. This is all about the structure of the monocot seed. This slide is showing the structure of the monocot seed as well as comparison between the monocot and dicot seed. So, this structure of the monocot seed, this is the outer seed coat. Now, this portion is known as the endosperm, and which is lined by this allurone layer made up of protein. Here this is the embryonal part, this is the scutellum which is shield shaped or single cotyledon. This is plumule which is covered by sheath like structure known as coleoptile, and this is radicle which is covered by this coleorhiza. So, embryo is total this side, and this one is bigger portion is known as endosperm. This is the structure of the monocot seed or the maize seed. Now, in this figure we can compare between the single cotyledonous and double two cotyledonous seed, that is monocot and dicot seed. Here single cotyledon is there, here two cotyledon is there. This is the structure, that is this is embryonal root, and this is this side embryonal shoot system, that is plumule. These two cotyledons covered by seed coat. It is also covered by seed coat. This is the endosperm layer. Then embryonal root is covered by coleorhiza, and embryonal shoot is covered by the coleoptile, and this is cotyledon single but shield shaped. So, this is all about different types of